Hey guys, J-Man here in the Phantom Zone. We are live and we are talking about two awesome movies today. We're doing Galaxy of Terror versus the Forbidden World. Some people call it Mutant. These covers are both liars because none of this stuff happens in the movie. This doesn't even remotely resemble the creature. If you look at the poster for Mutant, you'll see what the creature actually looks like. And I don't know where this came from. Nope, none of these guys are in this. I mean, maybe this one is kind of, you could, I don't know, but none of this, this kind of happens. Yeah, I guess this kind of happens. This kind of happens. This does not happen at all. And she's not chained up or whatever. Like, that's terrible. Anyways, those are the two movies that we're going to be versusing each other, if that's a word. So quick updates quickly for show updates. This Tuesday, we're back. Steven and I were going to talk about wrestling. So we've got Extreme Rules coming up, and we'll talk about SmackDown from tonight and Raw. And we already talked about NXT, so we won't talk about that. But yeah, those three things we'll be talking about on Tuesday. Thursday, I'm going to try to do open mic. We'll talk about Werewolf by Night. We can still vent our feelings about She-Hulk. I would have seen Hellraiser by then, so we could talk about that as well. And it'll be an open mic as usual. And then next Friday, we're going to decide today what we're going to talk about next Friday. So let's bring in our cast of characters to help us figure out which movie is better. Hey Sean, you're back.
Yep.
You're as back can be.
I heard like Forbidden World was going up against Galaxy of Terror, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta go in that.
Shit, we're gonna go through it, but like this is a 0.5 differential on my space thing.
Yeah,
and the 0.5,
yeah,
the 0.5 is enjoyment.
Of movies, so that's the thing. But
and
yeah.
And Sean, I know you. We never talked about this, but I know you know which one I like better. You're gonna obviously know. You can put it in the private. No, don't type it anywhere. Yeah. You'll know which one I'm gonna like better.
I'm pretty sure I know. It's probably the one I like better too. So.
Oh really? Oh, this will be interesting. I didn't know. Well,
maybe not then. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. All right, let's see how that goes. All right, so we're not gonna do. It's not gonna just be you and me. We got other people.
Yep.
Hello, Steve.
Hello, J-Man. Hey, Sean.
What's your car?
Winchester Brothers, the family business, Supernatural.
Oh, Supernatural. I stopped after season 47, I think, is when I stopped watching that one.
I was gonna buy the
first
that has all the brick,
yeah. The first 46 were pretty good, and then it just got a bit much. I was like, 47 seasons. I mean, this is like more than Doctor Who now. Like it's just getting crazy.
The series was shockingly good all the way pretty much to the end.
What? No way.
They fight God at the end. I mean, what more do you
want?
What?
They fight God at the end. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was gonna do it and then he just put it off anyway.
Is that my favorite is Preacher when they phone God. I think it's like season 1 or 2 where like he's like, let's phone him right now. And it's like, he's sitting on the big throne and he like picks his nose, like, hey, you just picked your nose. He's like, no, I didn't. Like, wait a minute. You're not God. He's like, oh, no, I'm definitely God. Like, no, you're not. He's like, okay, so God's missing. We don't know where he is. He goes, I'm a Game of Thrones actor. He's like, this is just a paid gig. If you haven't seen Preacher, it's totally awesome, man. It's awesome. I never read the comics. That's one of the ones where I didn't read the comics. But okay, so we got one more person to bring in here for today. Hey, Charlie.
What's happening, fellas?
Hey.
All right. So are you ready for the today's, I'm going to call it what? I guess I'll call it Galaxy versus
Galaxy of Forbidden World.
No, let's do Terror versus Forbidden. So I can Forbid versus Terror. All right. So While I'm getting this set up here, I posted a poll for anybody who's interested. They can vote. And the way it's going to work, I'll explain really quickly. SPACE stands for story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category, normally we score between 0 and 2, 0 being bad, 2 being awesome. So we kind of score a movie. We get a final ranking or a final number out of 10. But on a versus, the way it works is that we don't give our score. We can if we want to. But instead of giving our score, we say which one had the better, which one wins the category for each category. And I'm going to mark it down on my official Space Opera notepad, which is going to be on sale to the highest bidder after all this is done. We'll auction it off, and we can all digitally sign it or something. I don't know.
Let's assign it in our nicknames, our pseudonyms.
Right.
Crawl Killer. I think I'm now the Metal Storm, Death of something. I don't know.
Oh my god. Yeah, like what, and everyone saw too that I picked up the Metal Storm poster. I got all of the lobby cards. I got a set of the full set of all the lobby cards, the normal size, and then I got the oversized. I got 2 of those oversized last ones, and then for your I got the full set of the large and the small and the original poster. So it's I scored pretty good at our warehouse.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I mean, and I've been getting a lot of personal message too, like, oh, you fucking what happened this movie? I'm like, dude,
Crow,
like I love all these movies. Like, I'm not saying Metal Storm or Crawl is trash, obviously, since I bought them on Blu-ray and I freaking have like the posters and stuff, right?
No, man, you snapped them out of existence. Just what you spoke in that one episode. Crawl has been snapped out of existence.
Don't F with the Lords of Hell. I gotta snip that one. I gotta write a note of these. I keep wanting to get these clips here. Let me get Adventures in Babysitting, Lords of Hell.
There you go.
Adventures Babysitting, Lords of Hell. All right. Sorry. There was one yesterday that I forgot to write down. I didn't get either. All right, because I'm running out of my little my little things or whatever. So okay. So before we do the official rankings, what's the time here? 7:40. All right, why don't we'll go round table, and we'll start. I think we'll start with Steve this time because Steve, you're new to both movies, right? So
yeah.
What are your, I guess, like generally, like I just said, hey, we're reviewing these two, and you watch them. Is that kind of what happened?
Pretty much it. Like I've heard of Galaxy of Terror because I've heard of like it's a I think it's like it's got a bigger cast, like Robert Englund's in it and Sid Haig and all that. I'll tell you what I think. But yeah, I sat down to Charlie's new best friend Tubi and watched both of them, and that's it. Like I'm pretty much the freshest. No backstory, no childhood dream or anything like that. Anything like this, it's just I came on. Most of these are very new to me. You need to put a bubble around it.
Yeah, I know.
There's going to be 1 week where I have seen both movies already and actually own one of them.
Oh, yeah. What week is that?
Saturn 3 and
Outland.
Yeah.
Outland.
Yeah. The classy ones, yeah.
Classy ones.
Oh, you're classy. That's what I'm saying.
Here's where we're at, by the way, just so people know. But yeah. All right. Anyways, okay. So yeah, continue on.
Yeah. So this is going to be me. Nothing. There's going to be no childhood reminiscences.
No rose-colored glasses. Then.
No, there's no rose-colored glasses. There's nothing like from childhood where I'm like, oh man, I grew up with this movie. I'm going to be stone cold on these ones.
Okay. Okay. Between Sean and Charlie, has either of you guys known about both of them from the beginning, or is anyone new to any of them?
From a long time ago, yeah.
I've watched them a long time ago. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just go Charlie then next.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll keep it short and sweet so we have something to talk about whenever we rank these things. No, these are probably right when I really started getting into the renting creature features.
Right.
These were available to me, like almost like Roger Corman stuff, as it started going through. I got in this big kick of watching his movies and then like Cronenberg's. Like I wanted ooey gooey, gross out movies in a stage as a teenager, as one does. And I'm I don't remember which one I watched first. I want to say it was Galaxy of Terror,
Right.
because it's like you said, it's got Robert Englund, Sid Haig. I mean, it was
Yeah.
probably the most like casting and visuals. So I know I've seen that one quite a few times. And then Forbidden World was probably a little bit later that I found it. And probably the reason I waited so long is I thought they were the same movie for a long time. So, you forget a title and you're like, I think I've seen that movie. And then you keep on the line and it's like, why are there two different covers? Oh, there's two different movies. That's what they are. But yeah, I've been a fan of these. Like I told J-Man, I actually watched both of them on Tubi. Like Steven said, I was watching Galaxy of Terror a couple months ago, and Tubi just starts. Like the movie ends, another one starts. It was
Galaxy, Forbidden World,
right after. So I was like, awesome. Even Tubi knows what to do. I'm like, all right, and just reliving it. And then you're like, we're covering them, and they're fighting each other. I'm like, okay, interesting discussion we're gonna have.
That's perfect. I mean, yeah, Tubi can one good thing about this, the way we are now, is that it does have the recommendations. It's also sort of a bad thing because you never find anything new that they don't recommend to you. That's one of my issues with like people getting to movies now. It's like they're like, oh, I like this, and then okay, you've got those, but like Galaxy of Terror, let's say Galaxy of Terror, and like those might not link up, even though I kind of
they don't, but it does go off of what so I don't sign into Tubi. I
Me
use
neither.
the whole free version because I don't care if it forgets where I'm watching. Normally I watch a whole movie, but I've noticed now that my action and horror categories are almost my recommendations. I have a recommendation path, but then if I go down to action, they'll be like, oh yeah, these are all movies I'll watch 100%. Go down to horror. Oh yeah, I'll definitely watch all these. It's right in my taste. So I like Tubi for being
for sure
free.
It's cool.
Awesome selection of movies. It's like, why is everyone else struggling so hard to do something simple? Put movies on streaming. How difficult is that? Netflix, Hulu, Prime, all you assholes.
I was considering Shudder, and then I was like, well, Tubi's got a lot of the stuff I want to watch.
Plus, I've been watching all the Elvira movies off of. I just watched, what was that one, Castle? They're awful, but it's fun to just watch them because,
there can't be fun, man. It's Elvira. You can't hate on Elvira.
Yeah. Well, she's in that Munsters. She's the real estate agent or whatever.
Oh,
so,
I did see that she was cast in it, which that's fine. I'll watch up to that point and be like, done.
I'm done.
No, I'm gonna watch it. I don't want to make anybody mad, but I'm gonna watch it.
Well, I bought it on Blu-ray. I just buy all of Rob Zombie's movies. Hey, MMM, first vote. Let's see what's the first. Where are we at here? Galaxy of Terror. Okay, so far Galaxy of Terror is winning. Thank you, Masters.
Does that mean I have to vote for his too, or do I get called, the killer of his childhood once again?
I know, yeah. Masters he's very particular. If you have to,
I offended his entire culture last week, apparently.
and oddly enough, I am the justice of his culture. I have proven the justice of his culture. So that's from Ghostbusters.
You proved it.
I proved the justice of it.
Congratulations, yeah.
Congratulations, yeah. I have a winner as you as I usually use a winner as you. I love pro wrestling, but I usually use a winner as you for people who thought that they won against me in an argument on Facebook. So I just post a winner as you, and it's like where it's like I think I use Panther. What's the guy's name? Giant Panther or whatever. And I use him, and he's like, yeah, and it's like he's pointing up. I'm like, yeah, winner is you, buddy. You beat me.
You win. I'm out.
You win. I'm done.
There you go.
But all right, Sean, what's your thing? Because I actually have a story. I have a mini story, but what's your thing, Sean?
Well, I don't know when the hell I saw these. I remember renting Forbidden World because I remember that cover.
Yeah.
And Galaxy of Terror, I saw that. I must have rented it or something like that. These are murky memories because it's just I would just like rent. It's like it's in there with like the stuff and like whatever, right?
Right.
Yeah, all that crap. I want to put your geek knowledge to the test because I don't know if I'm hallucinating this. I think I saw these sometimes on TV as well in edited versions.
Yep.
Do you remember if New World Pictures had their own syndicated movie package where it was every week they'd play a New World Pictures movie?
Wow.
And there was a bumper to and from commercial with the planet Earth spinning, and there's a deep voice guy saying we'll be back after commercials or whatever, and then and there's a synthesizer that went wah, 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 like that. Do you remember something like that?
No.
I saw a lot of weird Roger Corman stuff on that thing, and I'm pretty sure I saw Galaxy of Terror on that too.
Now I know
but
they
it wasn't-
sold bundles like that to television stations and stuff. So if you bought, like, you had to
Yes.
get, if you wanted this movie, you had to get 15
other
other
stuff,
ones
yeah.
that they didn't want.
Yeah.
And that could have been something like they just did,
Well,
like a Roger Corman
I know
weekend or
Canon
something.
had at least two, like they had Action Theater and they had that
Yes.
Ninja Theater as well with
Yeah.
Shokazuki in his
Yep.
backyard telling you about some movie and then fighting ninjas in his
Right.
backyard. That was great. But yeah, I think I saw these on that as well.
And Dudikoff did the
new
action
stuff-
one, right?
Pardon?
Dudikoff did the action.
Yeah, and he just
one,
sat there
right?
in a chair, but
Oh my God, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
If
I know.
Dudikoff is sitting in a chair, the next day
I'd watch
that chair is sold out everywhere. They're like, I want the
Shouldn't you,
chair
like,
that Dudikoff was
drop
sitting in.
kick a
So
guy
I
or
can sit in
something,
that
or
chair.
I don't know. Like Shokazuki's working, man. He's like fighting ninjas in his backyard and
So
stuff.
when I got a VCR, you'll
Yeah.
all like this. I got a VCR. We finally got one. I was like, yeah, we were late to the game on I was the first person to get a Blu-ray DVD player, but I was late on everything else. Nintendo, Genesis. I was always late.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Got a VCR. First thing I recorded, Revenge of the Ninja. The second thing I recorded, Ninja 3: The Domination. The third thing, American Ninja. And I wore that tape out and I kept it. I still have that tape. It was the first stuff I ever recorded. And I didn't realize, I thought, oh, this movie's 2 hours. I better record longer. And I missed the last 15 minutes of the televised version of American Ninja, which ends up me missing about 6 or 7 minutes of actual movie. And I was like, no. And then finally, when I was able to get American Ninja, I finally got to see it. But yeah, anyways, and that's that. That was off of whatever station. But yeah.
Anyway, long story short,
Yeah.
I always thought that Forbidden World was a notch above like most Alien bullshit ripoffs, and Galaxy of Terror always left an impression on me. We'll get into that with the ratings, but yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, I seen both from before. There's a big story with Galaxy of Terror. So Sid Haig's got those crystals, right?
Yeah, like the crystal.
Yeah.
And like his arm, like, I mean, this isn't, spoilers. His arm gets cut off, and then the arm like picks up one of them. So my wife, when I'd first met her, she watched no horror movies, and my wife is from India. So in India, she's like, I saw this horror movie. She's like, I was traumatized.
That's awesome.
And I was like, what is it? She's like, all I know is some guy's arm gets cut off, and then the arm comes to life and grabs this boomerang and like throws it into him. She's like, I was like, I did not know the movie. So the thing is, I didn't know the movie. And the thing is that I never, so Mutant, Creature, Extro, Galaxy, Forbidden World, and then Forbidden World and Mutant is the same movie.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? Hold on. I think there's one more. I could never tell those movies apart. Like, it's like, which one's Extra again? I still can't do Creature and Extra. Now I've seen these two. I'm like, okay, I know what these two are now.
Yeah.
And I have Extra too. And I think there's a third one. And it's like, I don't remember any of these. And I was like, I don't know what this is. So I never saw Galaxy of Terror. So I got Galaxy of Terror on, I think, DVD or whatever it came out. Then I upgraded to Blu-ray after. And I watched. I was like, "Oh my God, this is the movie!" I was so pumped. And my wife and I were like, I think we were dating. I think we were friends before, and then we were dating. And I was like, "I know the movie. It's freaking Galaxy of Terror." I was so excited. She's like, and I was like explaining the whole experience. She's like, "Yes, that's it. Oh my God!" So I showed it to her, and I showed it to her again this week. I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, I'm at the part. Like, come over." And she's like,
relive that trauma, honey. Relive that trauma. It's all fine.
It's nothing. It's
Fight them
literally
demons.
nothing, right? So I was like, oh, but yeah, those movies, it's so confused. Like, literally, Creature and Mutant may as well be the same.
It's almost the exact same.
Even the poster's the same, right? And Extra, he's just turned more.
the Mutant poster and Extra are just it's profile.
And Creature.
One's like this and the other one's like this.
Yes,
it's that close space behind it, faded in.
Yep. Mutant's like this, and then Creature's like profile. Like the Creature's like, ooh, and then Extra is like more close. And I'm like, okay, this is terrible. It's the same thing. It's I love them all. They're all great.
I think
Woo.
Inseminoid is in that group too. When I would watch
Yes,
all those.
Inseminoid.
Inseminoid.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't believe they sold that into the Indian market, man. It's awesome.
Galaxy
They
of
sold it
Terror.
everywhere.
That's
God.
awesome. I'm like,
amazing.
how did you see this? This is
I mean, it's
great.
obviously the edited version, but yeah.
Yeah. So did anyone watch the director's cut of Forbidden World? Because it is on this Blu-ray.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, this one. See, I'm getting confused now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change the cover to this to Mutant because they give you both covers. Did anyone
would.
watch the director's cut? Because
I think I did.
It's
Yeah.
DVD quality. It's 82 minutes versus 77.
I think Tubi has the Shout Factory version, so I'm not 100%
that's
sure if
this.
it might have been
I
that
got
one.
these two.
Yeah.
These the Shot Factory Steelbooks. Steve
Oh,
gave them.
Oh, I love those covers.
I really wanted the.
Oh.
These are the actual. Yeah, it's like this one. This is in the movie, and this is in the movie. So yeah.
Yeah.
Forbidden World. I actually wasn't as pumped for the Galaxy of Terror because I actually prefer this, and I
Yeah.
do prefer this, but
It's classic. Yeah.
but the Forbidden World tin, that art is awesome, and it is representative of the movie. That was the one thing where I'm like, man, maybe I should have got that tin. It looked awesome. Like I usually opt for what the cover I know, and then even when I buy these, I flip them, and I don't go for tins all the. I don't often buy tins. But
Yeah,
when
I don't
do,
care about those tins myself, but these looked great.
They look
so,
awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
they're
art
on
on
the
those.
list, too.
No, for sure. Okay, so yeah, so you got the same. It's the same discs inside, though, right?
It's the same thing, yeah.
So the discs inside, the mutant version is like 5 minutes more, but it is only standard definition. They did not remaster. It's not anamorphic widescreen or anything. It's like a stretched, crappy. I was like, I'm not going to watch it. Let me watch the normal one, and I'll watch the director's cut. And I don't think I've ever seen director's cut because I think what happened was when I got this and I put it into director's cut, I was like, ooh, this looks bad. I'm like, I'll just watch the normal one.
I don't think ours was yours look stretched, Steven? I don't remember mine
no,
looking
but I
off,
didn't
so it may have
see-
been.
Yeah, so you saw the real version. No, like did it look like piss?
No, it looked good. I like.
Yeah, so the other one is standard. It looks like VHS quality.
But that's the director's cut that looks.
Director's
like
cut is
crap.
VHS quality. The
So I haven't
remastered
I
one
haven't seen
is
it either.
the.
What the hell did they cut out of Mutant that's not already in that though?
I don't know.
Jesus. I mean, that's
No.
there's a lot in that movie that you're like, what did they cut?
Yeah, I know. Like, what is going on? All right, so I got to tell you that this is a 0.5 differential again for me on these two. So everything pretty much tied, except I kind of like one a little bit more than the other. So the only thing that didn't tie for me was enjoyment. So now we're going to try to pick between these two. So I'm going to, I won't go last every time because I think I'm somewhat okay on some of these, but I don't know let's do it this way. Who wants to start with story? Okay. Who knows for sure that they think one is better than the other?
Overall or in
No, just in story only.
Just in
Oh,
story.
story? I don't know. It's a coin
All right,
toss for me.
Yeah,
Steve,
let Steven go. Yeah.
you're first.
I'm giving it to Galaxy of Terror.
All right.
Which I did not expect when I was watching Galaxy of Terror. When in the first half an hour, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm literally like, when the worm humps her to death, I'm like,
It's famous, yeah.
I still don't know what the hell's going on, but this is great.
Oh, when that happened, I stopped doing the space. I threw it away. I'm like, well, this is 10 out of 10. And then I had to pick it back up, and I'm like, I gotta pick one. I can't just say 10 out of 10 and let it be.
That one scene is why we're still talking about it today.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why it's still in
It's
the
just
lexicon.
crazy. I think Galaxy of Terror for me did it because the payoff is just better. The payoff is that it was all a manipulation by the master, and that this was all a game and stuff, and it sort of made that entire journey worthwhile to me. Whereas with the other with Forbidden
Let's call
World,
it Mutant from now on. Just call it Mutant. Yeah.
or Forbidden World. I understood what was going on at every step of the way, but it didn't really pay off for me in the way that Galaxy of Terror did. It still felt like the fact that they made it, hey, Phantom Outsider,
Wait, they're not out of the 5,000 movies you own. These are not in there.
He didn't say he didn't own them. He just said they're outside his wheelhouse.
Oh, I see.
That's
Come
true.
on, fandom, help me out here.
But it's like I felt like the fact that it was all a manipulation was awesome,
Right.
and that was the best idea that either movie carried. And for me, that's why I gave it the Galaxy of Terror. Otherwise, they're very similar, right? It's guys getting picked off and crazy shit happening.
Right.
So it's really hard to differentiate. And when I was watching Mutant, I was like, oh God. I mean, if there's a big manipulation at the end, I'm screwed because it's like that. But like the fact that they did that, I'm giving it the Galaxy of Terror.
Okay. All right. I guess Charlie, what are your thoughts?
Well, I have a clear winner, but I'm exactly opposite of Steven.
Oh,
I'm giving it to. I'm going to say this right now. Can we please just switch the names of these two movies?
yeah. You want to call it Mutant?
Forbidden World should be the one where the planet they're not supposed to go to, and it's like no one's ever been there. And then let Galaxy of Terror be the one that's in a space station / planet that actually had a space battle. Let that be Galaxy.
I literally said that.
God.
Right after it's done, I'm like, this is awful. Mutant is the right title.
Mutant is the correct one. That's what I'm going to call it from now on.
Okay, let's call it
Mutant. It's Mutant. Yeah. I'm giving it to Mutant because Galaxy of Terror makes no sense at the end. It's a nothing ending. Like there's no payoff for me. There's like, you're the master. Cool, now what? Well, you're in charge of the people. Okay, I don't care about that. Well, you're going to kill the people. Okay, I don't care about that. That's the main character. Right. He's like, I don't care. And everyone died for no reason because it was a game. Is this whole big convoluted thing. I struck with Mutant better because it was guy gets called into a problem. He is there to figure out the problem. They have one creature they are fighting, and it keeps mutating as it goes through. And it's instead of different monsters, it's the same monster evolving. And I get a good payoff at the end that I expect from an alien movie, which is we're going to kill the fucking alien and we're going to win. And that's the end of it. So I give story-wise, and we're talking 0.5 differences here.
Right.
People. We're not talking this is a 2, the other one's a 0.5. It's 0.5 differences. Like I'm giving Mutant 1.5, I'm giving Galaxy of Terror a 1. But it's just really because it was pointless in Galaxy of Terror. It was a game, and it'll come up in characters. The other reason why I didn't really like the story, and I don't know if I should say it now or anything, but that stupid captain bitch, I hated her. I hated her with a passion in that movie. And I was just like, I don't care. I don't care about her one little bit. I wanted something to javelin through the windshield when they crashed. It was
it's a weird casting choice too, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that with character, but that hurt it immediately, even with Robert Englund and Sid Haig and everything. I was just like, I don't fucking like her. I wish she would shut up. I don't care. Mutant, there was no one I didn't like in that, and like I said, the story was linear. It could be where I lean more towards action movies and movies that it's actually knocking off, like Alien. I was drawn to that one better, so I'm going. Oh my God,
this is awesome because while Steve was talking, he was like, "Oh yeah, it's definitely Galaxy of Terror." And then Charlie started talking like, "Yeah, I don't know. Mutant. I don't know. I don't know." So Sean's going to be the deciding factor here. Sean
you're voting too, man. Yeah.
What's that?
You're voting too.
I am voting, but I'm voting last.
There's a reason he does that, you know.
That's why I'm going last.
I know. And it backfired in his face with the first.
Oh my God!
That wasn't a backfire. That was just truth. That was truth coming out, sir.
Sean shanked Crow for me, and I refuse.
All right.
Look, it depends what you want, right? It's like Mutant is
This is like Excalibur.
Sorry, I'm getting into my voting now.
This is like Excalibur when Arthur asks Merlin what is the greatest quality of knighthood. He's like, oh, they're all. He's like, no riddles, Merlin. Tell us which one it is. tell us which one it is.
Amazing.
There's
No,
your
no.
sound clip to go grab, J-Man. That would be perfect when J-Man's, I
right.
don't know what to pick, Merlin. It's anything. It's fine.
I'm writing that one down. Yep, Merlin. All right.
Look, like Mutant has the more linear like story, of course, and it's got like characters that move the thing along with exposition, like Basil exposition and stuff. You got your characters that do stupid things, stupid horror things. We'll get into that with the characters. And it moves to a conclusion. I like the whole weaponizing cancer thing. I mean, if there's one scourge of humanity throughout all of our history, it's cancer. Fire it right back at that freaking asshole mutant, right? But look, I Galaxy of Terror, on the other hand, to me, I like the weird, ambiguous nature of it. It does have a point. I mean, like, I thought you can either take it as the Planet Master is testing all of them to try and be Planet Master, or he figures this guy's going to be it. Although I don't know what happens to Robert Englund. It doesn't look like he dies. So
yeah, Robert Englund is still going.
He's
strong.
still around. Yeah,
He's still walking
He's
around the
climbing
planet somewhere.
stairs, yeah.
Like, what, does my head get to glow now? What the hell?
I was thinking the Master makes him, taints him with all of his fears. Right, because it's your fears coming to life, and then he throws him back to Earth, and he becomes Freddy. He becomes the Springwood Slasher,
Yeah.
and then that's Freddy. And I thought, wow, they can link these together.
I think Robert Englund becomes his equivalent of that old woman from the beginning of the movie, maybe.
That
I don't
could
know.
be, man, but
The secretary man.
Right.
But technically, he won. He faced his fear and defeated it just.
I
as
know. Why
much
wouldn't
as
he?
the other
just-
guy?
Okay,
Yeah.
but his
that
fear was
regardless,
himself, not that worm that rapes you. Like,
I like all the people facing their fears. I like all that stuff. I like the weird sort of. This isn't based on a Lovecraft story at all, but it feels very Lovecraftian in that it's like out of your comfort zone. Like what's going on? You're disoriented watching it. The characters are too, and it all comes to. It does come together for me at least. At the end where my favorite Martian is like, oh, I can't remember his name, but he's like He's like, oh, you're going to be the new Planet Master. I'm going to die now. It's like, it's a big burden, but you're the man with your mustache and all that. And he takes it. I just think it's like a more interesting story to me, and it seems kind of dire with all the music like going on while it's happening. Is and then he becomes this like dude with a glow in the dark rash on his head. And he doesn't want it, and it's like, and you're left wondering too, what in hell is a Planet Master? It seems very dire and crazy, like, someone who's like master of all these planets, and it's left so open-ended and disconcerting that it is sort of like disturbing, right? I just feel all that's more interesting than the linear, like, there's a monster, you gotta shoot, and like, it ends up the way you'd figure, but and then he picks off people one by one and stuff. But I just feel Galaxy of Terror is the more interesting storyline to me. And, people do learn things, to face their fears and all that stuff through it. No one learns anything other than cancer's bad. It's like, it's bad, man. Like,
don't play God. That was the message.
Don't play God. But anyway, I'm going to go with Galaxy of Terror, man.
Okay.
It's the one I go to more often, and it's more interesting to me. So,
yeah. So oh wow, like very good points on both ends. I'm still I know Sean and Steve had a good they're like you're almost convincing me. I think maybe you did convince me.
No peer pressure tonight.
No peer pressure. Yeah, this is only the first one, for Christ's sakes. Joni loves Wormy. I know. Poor Joni. I felt that too. I know. No, but she wasn't the one that got
didn't get the worm though. But I love
she dies twice. She gets crushed and then she gets shot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Galaxy of Terror. I was originally gonna say Galaxy of Terror for sort of the same reasons that you guys pointed out, where it's like Mutant is a little bit. It's just a generic story that we've seen so many times. Whereas Galaxy of Terror, I do agree with Charlie though, because at the end I'm like, I was the master. I'm like, there better be more, because like because that just seems like, okay, what line did he say? Oh, he said I'm the master. Yeah, we're running out of money. That's good enough. and somewhere down the line, decades from now, an awesome stream. We'll be talking about this movie, and there'll be two guys pretending that there's some intelligence behind this script, but really there isn't. We don't know what we're talking about. But
It's Roger Corman. There's no
Roger
intelligence behind
It's
these
like these two guys, both names with S. They're gonna pretend like there's something more going on, but there really isn't. But I'm going to pretend along with them. I'm going to pretend along with them. That there's something more going
Oh, I
on.
see where we're going with that.
It's like, I'm going to say that Galaxy of Terror is better because I'm going to pretend that there's a point to it, and that if I analyze this movie, I'm going to realize the point, which I never realized. I'm never going to analyze it. It's never going to happen. There is no point to it. They're lazy, and they just said, let's have this ambiguous thing at the end, and we'll pretend it means something, but it doesn't. But
Hey,
they
if I'm
still
the one that's got to cause some drama tonight, I'm fully prepared to do that. It's
Yeah,
fine.
no,
I can be
well-
odd man out tonight.
Save it for. Well, I'm going to be very. I do have a couple of more ones where I'm a little bit more, for sure on.
Right.
I will say this. Sean mentioned exposition, and I want to mention the award. There is an award. Mutant has won an award officially. One of the J-Man awards. It has won an award for the absolute best exposition of all time in any film, television show. I don't care. This is the best exposition of anything we've ever seen in our lives. It's two naked women giving us this backstory about science. I was like, this is brilliant. I literally wrote down, I'm like, the award, it's done. We don't have to ever discuss exposition again. The bar has been.
What's the TV version of that scene? I don't even know.
That's the point.
So,
It's like you kind of
never could do it.
you can't cut that out.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is amazing. It's too, and then they're in the shower and they don't get dressed. Like, wouldn't you get dressed at least in shoes or something?
No.
Like, I'm like, this is the best exposition of any film ever. And I'm like, and you can't skip that scene. You can't cut it. I don't know who the director is, whatever. We're dealing with highly intelligent filmmakers here, guys. I know you're laughing too, and you're thinking this is a joke. But it's not a joke
with you.
because they literally thought this through. We've seen so much just random nudity in our lives, right? In these movies, this was like they gave them dialogue. So it's like, yeah, you didn't say that right. Take two. And you're like, man, how many takes? Stop it. This girl needs
more emphasis on this part of the sentence,
Yeah.
please. Yeah, just a little bit more.
And
Look, 16-year-old Charlie loved knowing exactly what was happening in Mutant. That's all I was doing. I know this movie perfectly now. Rewind it. I need to know more. There we go.
And none of us here heard any word of that exposition. I did, my wife.
I didn't even think it was an exposition scene. I wasn't even paying attention to the dialogue, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you thought it was an exploitation scene.
Yeah, I was like, this can just keep
was.
going on.
Oh my god, no way. Highlander 2 is awesome. I know you. God, I love Highlander 2. The more people make fun of it, the more that's one of my other problems. I have this problem where if enough people make fun of me for liking something, I like it more because I want them to continue making
I'm with
fun
you
of me.
though. I like Highlander too. So
Well, I love Highlander 2.
we'll
I got the
tag
poster
team
right
that
there.
one. We're
Yeah,
good.
oh yeah, big time.
Do the thing, man.
Oh yeah. Fine. I don't have these ready yet.
Oh,
Here we
God.
go, here we go.
That's it. That's it.
You have to steady the hand.
Yeah, we gotta keep it steady.
I can never get enough of watching that movie.
Awesome. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do pacing. And I'll tell you what, I'll start with pacing this time. These movies are short as short can be. You'll never catch me. I mean, don't go to the bathroom because you're going to miss a shit ton of stuff going on. I'm actually going to give the pacing, and I had them both perfectly paced because they're pretty fast. But I'm going to give the pacing, I think, to Mutant, because I think with Galaxy of Terror, there's a few parts where you're like, I understand they're building it up, but I start to think, and this is a little bit of the Rock and Roll Nightmare syndrome and the Metal Storm syndrome.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I think you're hiding the fact that you don't have enough footage. It's not like Alien. Oh, I'm wearing Alien. Most appropriate shirt for this stream award goes to me. Because
Well, I'm
Charlie,
sorry. I'm rocking Predator, man.
You're close.
Oh, I
but
may
this
have
is an
the
alien.
best though.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Man, and I'm no pencil pusher, that's for sure. I love that part. I used to have that as an intro, but yeah, I know.
No, I'm just apes.
You're just apes. It's all appropriate stuff. It's very, but like I'm the closest because these are alien ripoffs.
We'll give it to you. We'll give it to you.
So yeah, I think like Galaxy or Mutant is very short, and actually, like I don't really think they tried to. There's a couple of parts that they extended, but it's got nudity in the extended part. So I'm like, this is great.
There's a reason why they're extended.
Right. You said
Oh, was I?
They extended. I extended. Everybody.
It worked.
Everybody. You said extend. Remember that was from which is a great movie, by the way. Anyways, so I'm going to give it to Mutant. I was never bored. I was kind of interested in the scientific gobbledygook where it's like, oh, we did this and that. I'm like, okay. I like Galaxy of Terror. I thought the pacing was good on that too. It wasn't super long, but I just felt like I have to pick one. So yeah. I had to pick one. I gave them both. I gave them both perfect scores. I was not really bored during Galaxy of Terror, but I'm sensing a little bit of Metal Stormism, just a tiny bit, where it's like, I think you guys are stretching this a little bit, but yeah. So that's my pick. So see, I went first on this one. So there you go.
There you go. Very good. Proud of you, Jamie.
Let's go reverse order. Then Sean can go next.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Mutant as well. It really jogs along. I mean, like it's 0 seconds till that thing escapes, right? And in a dumbest way, but like, and I'll get to that in character, but but yeah, no, it really zips along. The problem with Galaxy of Terror is because of the ambiguous nature of it and trying to hide the point of it to the end is that you don't know what the hell's going on for most of it, so you don't know what's leading to what, like what's the plot here. And so because of that, it seems like it's stumbling, right. and you can't really give that better pacing than the one where there's a alien and they're trying to kill it. It's very straightforward stuff, right? So pacing goes to Mutant for me.
All right. 2 for Mutant. Charlie?
Well, I was going Mutant anyway, because it really is pace better. And I'm taking a page from Steven on this one is what can I cut out of either movie? And there's stuff I can cut out of Galaxy of Terror. There's nothing really to cut out of Mutant. Like everything they're doing is a purpose. Like even when they're running across the desert, there's a purpose to it. Boom. All of a sudden we see it's cocooned up in the top. Right. Okay. They shoot up a cocoon that's nothing's in there. Boom. The alien is down. The mutant's down there and like bigger than anyone expected. Just everything happens so rapid fire. And I mean, Mutant starts with a space battle. Yes, it's Battle Beyond the Stars again, which we've established in this. Is every one of these contests going to have Battle Beyond the Stars in it as we go?
Yeah.
But I didn't hate it. I was like, oh, okay, they're keeping like the energy like going right as soon as the movie starts. Galaxy of Terror cut the stupid captain out of that thing. I don't need any of her backstory, and I don't know why we had to like light your hop everywhere, and she couldn't wait for people to put their goddamn seatbelts on. Other than Robert Englund got it, got legs wrapped around him, which I'm like, bravo for you, Robert. But I'm just like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like, I know what you're trying to do, right? But you could have done this 1,000 times better with anyone else. Have a captain that, he was never home and his wife committed suicide, and that's his burden he carries, and he has to face that when he hits the planet. Done. I didn't need this whole PTSD thing from her. Right. I'm gonna rag on her almost in every.
I was getting the sense of that.
I hated her, but pacing wise, like I said, Mutant is just space battle, space station, alien attacks, everyone's hunting the alien, and it just goes all the way to the end, and then finale and payoff. Done. Pacing great. Mutant.
Can't argue with a confident man.
All right, Steven, where are you? Okay, are you going to be will Steven be peer pressured into saying Mutant, or will he go all out?
Steven.
I'm not going to peer pressure. I'm going to say Galaxy of Terror.
Oh,
I am, and I'll tell you why.
He's out. Get him out.
He's out. I'm out.
Do that.
Steve had to go, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He's breaking up on my side. You
I'm
guys
sorry.
see it there?
What's these guys? I no. Yeah. And actually, the reason why is because I found that with Galaxy of Terror, because I didn't know what was going on. I was paying attention, and I felt like if you get rid of anything, you could lose because you don't learn the motive, like the characters that well, and that's going to come back up in characters, believe me. But the only way you get to know them is through their fears, right? So you really, to me, couldn't cut anything there. And then at the end, like you have the game which sets it up, like the first game. Then they go on the mission. Then they start getting picked off one by one. You learn about the characters there, and then you have the payoff. Right. With Mutant, there was a lot of times like I loved the space battle. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, oh yeah, Battle Beyond the Stars part 15. Exactly. But it doesn't ultimately lead to anything. They already set up the hero, like going in and doing stuff. I didn't really need to learn anything. I didn't learn anything about him through the battle. And as much as I love the sex scene, it makes zero sense in the movie.
Oh, like, that's a fail.
It's a fail.
It makes perfect sense.
No. To me, I hate when there's imminent danger
no longer count,
and they go off that sex. It's just no. So there's a lot of stuff in Mutant where I felt, and they kept flashing back to like previous scenes where I'm like, why are they doing this?
Because there was nudity in those scenes that they flashed back to.
I get it. But like the thing is that I feel like they were really trying to fill that 77 minutes where I felt like Galaxy of Terror needed all of that 80 minutes to show you the characters through their actions and all that. So I'm giving it the Galaxy of Terror.
All right. Okay.
I will agree with the flashback thing on Mutant. That was like, because it happens before he's ever even on the ship.
Yeah,
before anything happens.
Are you saying something profound or?
Yeah, like he was in like cryo sleep. So you're like, is he psychic? Does he have a vision?
Is he going through this again? And
is this a time loop?
Is this
something like that?
Thing.
Yeah. So you're not wrong about that at all. But if you cut all of that stupid captain in Galaxy of Terror, I could have saved that couple seconds that I was in Mutant. Tried to cut more out of Galaxy of Terror.
To Steve's point, I get what you're saying, because like my favorite Martian, right? It's like he never faces his fears, and seeing that like something's wrong with this guy, right? Why is everyone else like Buddy Sid Haig gets stabbed by his own crystal? It's like.
Yeah. Well, you get Bishop syndrome with that, or what the first one, the first android and alien. What was its name?
Ash,
or Ash syndrome.
That's what I was thinking.
I was thinking Ash. Yeah,
that was kind of like this. We're kind of supposed to notice it, but there's so much going on that we forget about it, and then the reveal is like, oh, I forgot about that guy. He's been right there in front of us. That's why nothing's happened to him. Same with Ash all of a sudden turns, and he's never worried about the alien. He's never worried about anything else but the mission.
Yeah, and I thought too. Well, I mean, I just thought it's happening one at a time. So it's like wouldn't it realistically all their fears come to life and then just start attacking?
You would think so.
It's horror movie isms, right? So it's like, it's one at a time. How does it pick which one? How does he know it's going to be that guy? Is like what Sean's saying. Maybe he's testing everybody and he's trying to see who it's going to be. And he's like, oh, maybe it's, and he's like, oh, I think it was going to be you. Why? Because he was the last one. Like nothing was obvious. We can get the character. Oh, no, not yet. Sorry. Nothing was obvious about any of the characters as to who was going to be the final guy, whatever you want to, like, who's this test for? But I thought the test was for everybody. Yeah. And then, it's like Bobo.
Because he said he'd handpick everyone, right? So,
so I don't know, right? But anyway, okay. So I've got, so far we've got the story edges to Galaxy of Terror, pacing edges to Mutant, and it's 3-1 on both of those. So that's interesting. Let's check the polls. Galaxy of Terror is, it's 50-50, guys. It's 50-50 right now.
I mean, a tough one.
I'm not surprised. I mean, this is literally blindfold, throw a dart. That's what this battle is. It's just interesting to get there to find out what is going to win.
All right, so Artistry. Let's start. Let's go with Charlie first. Oh no, you know what, Charlie? I'll do you first on characters because you're dying to.
Yeah. Please let me back. Let me bash.
Let's do Sean first on Artistry. Then
Oh, God.
this one is tough,
It's
and
tough.
I do have a winner, but anyways,
I'm still deciding because I thought I was gonna go with one, and I'm like, well,
you want to go
So-
Steven first? Steve,
well,
do you have
let
a
me
clear?
let me. I could
do you have a
talk
clear-
through it and then pick.
Okay,
one.
okay, yeah, go ahead, Sean. Talk to
So
it,
like,
see if you-
look, the pros of Galaxy of Terror, right? I think that's the one I'm struggling with, and in that, like, when I think of that, like that rear projection shot, is a money maker, like the one where they see the pyramid and the camera, heads up, and it's like it's terrific. And whenever I think of that movie, I think of that, and those suits are wonderful. You know, like they claimed in the behind the scenes that the backpacks were like 40 pounds or something. I like the imagination of it. The like the Planet Master has the red, you know, it's so much more interesting than just putting a hood on them, which would have been just cheaper. But they're like, you know what, let's do something weird and cool, right? The crystals, that, you know, the boomerang things, they're like big like ninja stars or something like that.
Right.
That's awesome. Sid Haig looks great. You know, I know it was his idea to be mutant, and then he said that the director forced him to say that one stupid line, which he could have had someone else do. And just the look and feel of everything, and just even that weird ominous like glowing triangle, and then they're like, oh, if we do this, it appears, and then they walk through it and all that stuff. It's wonderful. I think the knocks on that movie are the sound effects are like all Saturday morning cartoon sound effects. What the hell was that? Like, it's like it's you know, like it just sounds like you're watching an episode of Alvin and Chipmunks or something. It's like the gloopy sounds, and yeah, it's just weird. Mutant uses some of that. I think Mutant goes a long way to establish its little world there, the Forbidden World. You know, with it might look like less, but it gets the job done. It's not ambiguous about it. It's not like, you know, you're not saying, well, this doesn't fit in this thing and this doesn't fit.
Right.
It all fits, and all the gore stuff is fantastic. For like, no, I was watching the behind the scenes today, and they had nothing. They had no money, and they're just making stuff up with like spirit gum and all that, and it looks better than you see today. It's what the hell, they had like gorped up faces with the teeth coming out. Amazing stuff for like nothing, you know. And that creature looks great too. He doesn't look so great when he's sitting outside. that he's just,
That's
it's
my
just
favorite
a thing
part.
just sitting there. It's like,
Yeah, what's up, guys? What's going on?
but for most of it, it's fantastic. I don't know. It's like I love the look of Galaxy of Terror.
But come back to it.
But I love the feel of Mutant.
You want me to go?
I'm gonna. Well, let me. I'll just pick one. I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Mutant.
Mutant. All right.
There you go.
Yeah, you could change after too. All right,
Yeah.
Steve, do you have a confident answer?
Well, a lot more confident in Sean's, I guess.
All right,
It's
go
Mutant.
for it.
It's Mutant. It's to me, it was straightforward because Galaxy. When I first saw Galaxy of Terror, I'm like, this is going to win Artistry for sure. I like the red glowing head. I loved the pyramid. I loved the worm creature. I thought that was a really cool idea, and it seemed to work really well. But other than that, it's not really that impressive. If you think about it, there's a lot of shots where they're sort of shying away from showing you things.
Right.
At the beginning, when the first crew member, before they even go on the mission, the first crew member, I thought like the creature that got him was in a washing machine or something. I literally did that
It's
well.
like,
Yeah.
it's really-
Yeah, it's literally looks like it's a washing machine. Like the washing machine killed him. What the hell? It's got some terrific and impressive set pieces, but it doesn't have the full package. Mutant is impressive from beginning to end. I love the score. I think it's better than Galaxy of Terror. I think the creatures are better and there's more variety. I think the gore effects are amazing. I even like the scenes, like I think it's inventive, like when she's in that bedroom and you see the slime coming down and slowly cover the lens of the camera. Like to me,
Oh, I hate it.
That's cool. Man.
I was like, go back up.
yeah. but I mean, it to me, it felt more like they really tried to make a cool looking, thoughtful movie from beginning to end instead of giving us a few really great things and then the rest was like, oh, we can't show you this because we spent all our budget on the pyramid thing. So to me, it's clearly Mutant for Artistry.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So I'll go next and I'll let Charlie go last on this and then first on the next one.
Oh, I get.
I see that everyone is nervous about this. So I will have to come in and break it up. Like in 12 Angry Men, Jack Warden, he's like, you guys are going back. I'm going to break this up for you. Look, there's smoking hot naked girls in this. I'm giving the Artistry to freaking Mutant. Like, I don't know. Like, I know everyone's thinking it. They don't want to say it. That's fine. I'll say it. It's like the gore and nudity. That's it. They both look cool, but there's more gore and there's lots of nudity. So I'm giving it to Mutant. Like, Mutant. I don't know. They both look pretty good. Obviously, Sean, you said like there are some good shots. Steve, I'm kind of with you on your viewpoint of it, like where it's like, yeah, Galaxy has a lot of great shots, but then just the whole movie on its own with like the music and stuff, just it seems better in Mutant for me.
Yeah.
Plus, there's like literally they're just walking around naked. I'm like, I can't believe this. This is like, and my wife's in the room with while that's happening. I'm like, this is unimportant. She's like, it's fine. I'm on my iPad. So I'm like, yeah. No, and I'm pretending I'm writing notes, but I wrote no notes. At one point, I didn't even have a pen in my hand, and I was like, shut up. So I'm giving it to Mutant. No, I had a pen in my hand the whole time. Relax. No, but I'm giving it to Mutant, man. Yeah, no, it looks cooler the whole way through. The creature, I could tell what the creature was a little bit better, though I do like the worm thing. Like the creatures were pretty cool in Galaxy of Terror, though. That's a neat. They tried to give us. See, this is why it's so close. So far for me, really, all these categories have been very close.
Oh, yeah.
Characters enjoyment are the only ones where I'm for sure leaning towards one versus the other. But otherwise, the top three were all pretty close for me. It's like they're tied. They are tied. Even characters were kind of tied, but for different reasons. It's like I like one more than the other, and but I flip back kind of a thing. So that's where I'm at for Artistry. I like the soundtrack. I definitely like. As soon as the movie was over, I was like, oh, I got to get the soundtrack for this because it's got all that weird kooky, like sci-fi-ish, weird synthy kind of things. I was like, this is kind of neat. So I want to get the soundtrack. Galaxy of Terror is like, yeah, it's cool. So there you go, Charlie.
So there was one clear thing that makes Mutant the best in Artistry is because Mutant shows up in Star Wars. It's literally in the stands of the pod race, and the Mutant character is in the stand.
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I thought you knew that.
No.
So it's had that much of an impact that it made it into a George Lucas movie. But where I was closest was Galaxy of Terror has some amazing gore. Like when Joni gets ripped in half
that was
and
awesome.
Just peeled, it's amazing. The worm is cool looking, but it's only memorable for one reason, and that's the naked chick underneath it. And if that's not a boner killer when you're 16, where you're
that's
like,
true.
That's no, this I can't do this. Where's Mutant? I need Mutant now.
Right, and then you got two. You got two for the price of one, and they don't get killed while they're.
They don't get killed, and they are not shot. Like, ooh, fresh meat on the ship. Boom, we're on that dude. Like, yeah, it don't make sense. Don't care. I'm there. It's all good. Artistry though, I did like Mutant because it was in a confined space, and I felt that. I felt that they were on this smaller, like, laboratory. Even when they go outside, it feels like a dead planet almost, like they picked it to be there for a certain reason. They get where they're going quickly, unlike with Galaxy of Terror. They walk a long way to get to the temple. Then they walk up the temple. Then we finally start getting some cool stuff with the tentacles and stuff like that, which... Who has a fear of tentacles? Did that guy just not like, holes? I don't like why he was unsure of himself. So why did the tentacles attack him on his fear? So But that would be the closest toss up if I was only going off of practical effects.
Right.
They're kind of even, but I love the mutant in Mutant and boobs. So
Yeah,
it
there
goes
you
to
go.
Mutant.
All right, so I'll let you start with characters in a second. Let's see if the poll has changed or not, because we had a few people come and
Check
go.
that poll.
No, it's still 50-50 right now. I can't see how
All right.
many votes there were, though. I don't know why I can't see the number of votes. Oh, no, okay, so no, there's 4 votes. Okay, I see how that works. So there's
There you
4
go.
votes.
So
4 votes. You want to just start into characters since
I'll
you're-
run right into characters. I hate that stupid captain in Galaxy of Terror. Why they had to basically paint her gray and like look like she's dead already, and she's, I don't want to say other words, but she's those other words, and she's a bitch. I hated her. But I'm gonna have to give characters to Galaxy of Terror because I did like Sid Haig. I think he played it right.
Yeah, I agree.
Doing the mute. The reason they forced him to say his line was, well, he has to die by the crystals, obviously. Live by the crystals, die by the crystals. It's like, yeah, okay, that's kind of dumb. We would have inferred that like the crystal killed him. It would have been fine. Someone else could have talked
said
about
it,
a little
yeah.
bit of back
Why
about his
won't he use the
backstory.
gun? He lives
Right.
by the crystals and he dies by the crystals.
Literally, they're handing him the gun. He's like, no, right? He goes, "Hmm."
Yeah, I mean,
then
it tells
someone's
you
like-
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and someone's like, oh, he only uses the crystals. It's like, okay, that's it.
But-
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing with Mutant is every character except for the girls can be replaced with just about, and honestly, the girls could be replaced with any other girl that looks like that. You know, the main hero in that, I mean, how bad it is, we're not even really saying the characters' names in both of these movies.
Yeah.
You know, so that's nothing really memorable about them. But we have Robert Englund and Sid Haig, they're, you know, and Joni. So there's
right.
future stars that kind of, I think, lean it one way for me.
In my favorite
I'm
Martian.
fighting something. Yeah, in my
Greymalkin.
favorite Martian.
Greymalkin.
So
Yeah.
but I like that they're all each their own little character.
Right.
Mutant had a scientist dying of cancer, coughing the entire freaking time. Your megalomaniac doctor who doesn't want you to kill it. You expect that. And a janitor that, you know, basically cleans up the messes and does all this other stuff. And honestly, I think it would have been better had they actually killed the main guy in Mutant and one of the lesser guys is the hero at the end. You know, anything to flip that up, because I didn't care about him. He's basically James Bond. He's getting to just lay, all the chicks are like drawn to him. He's got, the scars look like shit. They're obviously pasted on his stomach.
It's like magic
know.
marker.
Yeah.
And so much so that they're making fun of themselves, because when they come out of the sauna, they're like, what were you two doing in there
Yeah.
dressed like that? Like, really, bro? You gotta ask that? I would have been like, well, I just got with that one and I needed to clean up, and she was right there. I don't know what to say. But I'm actually going to give this to Galaxy of Terror for the characters. I did like the characters better on that one. Again, maybe a 0.5 difference, but I'm going to edge to that. Had they got rid of the stupid captain, I'd have gave it a 2. It'd been fine. God, guys, I hate that character. When she died, wow.
I didn't hate her at all. I was just like, okay, she's just there.
3,
Okay.
2, 1, go! I don't care about you
Yeah, it's
guys.
weird, yeah.
I hated it.
All right, let's go. Who wants to go next? Sean, you can go next, I guess.
Sure. I'm giving it to Galaxy of Terror as well. Because I mean, I think the story as it is hinges on the characters anyways. I mean, because they have to face their fears and stuff. So, and I think they all sort of have a short burst of some sort of individuality among them. Robert Englund gets mad at the other guy for almost killing him, and and then he has to face it off against himself, and the one girl, I guess, has a fear of having sex with worms. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I have that.
It's funny
same
because
fear.
she's not afraid of promiscuity or anything, because she wraps her legs around around Robert Englund, right? It's the
Yeah.
same
No,
girl,
I,
right?
I actually read what the explanation. She has two fears. She has a fear of worms, and she has
Yeah.
a fear of being dominated in sex.
Oh,
When
yeah,
she
yeah.
wraps her legs around him,
Ah.
she's the one doing the domination.
That's cool. Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Didn't get that
Hold
in the
on.
movie though.
I got one for that. Hold on. Where is it?
Check out the big brain on Brad.
Nice.
All
Yeah,
right.
the captain, I think, is just miscast. I had to look up her age because I was like, she looks way young, and they have the gray hair and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like
She
she's
looks
40.
ridiculous.
She's got to be
Yeah, she's
40
like
in
40.
this movie.
Yeah.
And but I don't know. She just her skin's way too smooth for that. It's like. She
She's
doesn't
just
look
weird.
traumatized at all. She only sells it at the very end before she dies, where she's like,
When
she's
she
trying
loses it,
yeah, she's trying to shoot that ship, and then I felt kind of bad for her, and then she dies, right? But like I was like, yeah, they could have done a much more with it. Plus, the dialogue they gave her was utter trash. Like you have her talking like she's an 80-year-old grandma. It's like, hey
Yeah.
boy, you know, like doing stuff like that. It's like it doesn't match her at all, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at her, but I just felt it was weird and sort of out of place. But the rest of it was cool. The mutant characters are hilarious. I remember one character's name, James. That's the name of the guy who opens the incubator. And like, I remember his name because he's so stupid. He opens it. And he leaves it open.
Yeah.
He calls the doctor. He's like, "Oh, the incubator's open," and he's like, "It's breathing." Right? and it comes out, and he's like, "Oh!" And then I love this. He smashes his hand into the glass, and then he keeps doing it. And it's like, oh! I couldn't stop laughing at that. And the one woman who's like, maybe we could communicate with it. It's like, oh my god, I know where this is going, right? This is a Roger Corman movie. She's like, oh, if we just like type into it and say hello and stuff, it'll be nice, right? Like 5 guys. Like what? Like if it's intelligent and it's killing people, it knows it's doing that, right?
Yeah.
Well, like the characters are horror movie stupid. They're the type of stupid that you're like yelling at the screen, like, "What are you doing? Close the incubator!" Like, what are you doing? Why are you talking to it? Like,
Put
just
clothes
get away
on.
from
No, no, really. Don't really put clothes on.
Yeah,
Like,
take your clothes off. Yeah,
is my wife watching? Put clothes on, damn it. No.
Yeah.
Okay, she's gone.
This movie is so silly. All right, see you later, honey. All right,
It reminds me of that trailer, that fake trailer. Don't. It's like don't
Yeah.
go into the house. Like
Don't.
don't open the door. I
Don't
wish
go
they made that movie,
upstairs.
but, yeah.
they should have said, "Don't see this movie."
Yeah.
Okay.
if you're going to watch this movie alone, don't.
Nope.
Like that's awesome. Yeah, no, it's Galaxy of Terror, man, all the way.
All right, Steve.
I'm going to go with mutant.
All right.
Even
I'm gonna go
James.
mutant.
This is
Reason
how
why?
this is how I knew this was gonna go. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, Galaxy of Terror. I don't know anything about the characters really. None of them exhibit much of a personality except the captain, who is like unnecessarily gruff and upset about everything, and I don't know why. And Robert Englund, because Robert Englund can never be boring. Everyone
I'll
else
agree with that. Yeah.
is like Ray Walston at least has a reason to do that, but everyone else is just kind of there. And I have zero like, and when I finally learned about them through their deaths, I'm like, oh, that's kind of, oh, they're moving on. Okay. Oh, yeah, they're moving on. Like nothing seemed to matter. There was that one guy who was a bit of a prick, Balin or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was just like movie prick, where he was just
Right.
like unreasonably
Yep.
pissed
It's
off.
like
at
fake.
everyone.
It's like fake angry.
It's like
Yeah.
fake anger all the time. Like no one's like this, and then he just dies, and I'm like, sure. I agree with everything you guys said about the mutant characters. They are horror movie characters, but that's why I love them, because they're so ludicrous. At least there's a personality there. I like the hero. I like when they're arguing about if Annie is part of the creature or like something. They're like, do you know what this is part of? They're like, no, yes. He's like, can I get a maybe? I actually laughed at that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, he's watching that. I love the James Bondism. He's weighing all the women. I know it's ridiculous. I don't care. I love the doctor. He's like dying of cancer, and he's like, use my cancer as a weapon. I'm like, who does that?
Weaponize me.
Who weaponizes cancer? I love the blonde. She's from V, the TV series. She was
Yep.
Lydia. I think
Yeah.
it was Lydia. She doesn't even have to say anything. I just love that woman. I loved her in V, the TV show, and I love her in this. She makes absolutely no sense, and she's hilarious. She just brings him into the room immediately, and they have sex, and then she's talking to it through a computer. I'm like, what is going on? This is ridiculous.
In like
in like a
robe,
nightie. I'm like,
in bare feet.
yeah, I'm like,
Yep.
who is? And she's actually watching the thing come up, and I'm like, aren't you going to move? And I'm like, oh, guess not. I love the scientist who is unreasonably with the experiment, even as it's like you should by now common sense should have taken over, and then he's just like half like eaten, and he's like, help me, and I'm like, dude, do you see yourself? You're like half eaten. It's preposterous all the way through, but at least I had a good time with the characters. Galaxy of Terror, I felt like I was watching a bunch of cardboard cutouts, and I breathed a sigh of relief every time Robert Englund did something. That's it.
All right. So I am 100% with Steve on everything he exactly said. I think, first of all, Mike, excuse me, is the main character of Mutant. Remember his name, for he can get any woman at any time.
I believe that. As long as she's been on an outpost for years and years looking at the same guys.
Come on. He's desirable in all environments.
I think Sam would have been the better pick in that. I'm just saying.
Look, I mean, when they had that exposition and then they're like, okay, I've got it, we're gonna go chat on the computer, I thought, this is genius, because it's like absurd, but it's absurd in a way that I would not have thought of. So that makes it cool. It's like,
right, yeah.
It's like Galaxy of Terror is exactly what Steve said. It's like, the thing is, you had Joni, you didn't have Chachi, he died in the previous expedition. So that's why she's there. You had Sid Haig, right, who uses crystals, which suck. Really, they smashed at the first time they were useful. They smashed. You're like, I live by the crystals. Pick a different weapon, because these crystals aren't going anywhere. They're not doing. They can't do anything. They suck.
The clay.
They're awful. Yeah,
another reason Kroll lost.
Yeah. No, Robert Englund, that, like, I don't know. Yeah, no, that guy is just awesome.
Yeah.
I have not even seen one bad role of his. No matter what he's in, he is always giving it his all. Sid Haig is cool because I just like Sid Haig anyways, from the blaxploitation flicks and all that. Like, he's just cool anyways. Joni, I felt that she was the only character that I was like, okay, I'm getting something out of her. Like, and she's the crappy, I sense evil. It's like, really?
Yeah, she's Deanna Troy.
She's Deanna Troy, who's
angry.
Deanna Troy is useless. I love Star Trek. I'm allowed to I've given myself the permission to make fun of Star Trek because I love it so much. But yeah, Deanna Troy is awful. But like, but the characters it's like, I don't care. It's like, okay, they're dead. Okay, they're dead. At least these characters are funny. And it's like, I will remember that scientist who, like, you can move your glasses or you can put them up if you need to. Like, it doesn't need to be like this all the time.
Always.
And I've been wearing glasses since grade 2. Sean, Steve, that's got to be grade 2, 3, 4 for you guys. I don't know. Most of your life, grade 2.
Actually, kindergarten.
Steve's beating us both. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Where's eyesight?
Congratulations. Yeah.
You win. I don't wear glasses, so I don't.
Yeah.
So you suck. These are in. I don't know. I just like, I don't care about any of these people. And not that I cared about the mutant people, but look, when that guy opened the thing, I was like, this is the best thing.
What a moron.
Yeah.
It's breathing.
What's going on here? And what's great is that they didn't bother with trying to pretend that there's this big meaning. They're just like, this guy's a dumbass. Oh, yeah, I think this thing's moving around. And that other guy was Pace. He comes in and he's paced.
Yeah.
Like you're dead. Like why are we even
Oh,
discussing
that guy's
You might as well just put
yeah.
a red shirt on him and it'd have been fine. It would have been good.
It's like
Like,
before RoboCop.
But honestly, typing into the computer is my favorite thing of all time. It's just like, maybe we can communicate it. Okay, first of all, if it can communicate, it's intelligent. Then it knows, as Sean said, it's killing. It's killed everybody.
Yeah.
It eats people. It doesn't care about you. I do think that guy saying use, like, I like the fact that he's like, cut me open.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, we need the morphine. He's like, I don't care. Just do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's a sacrifice. Like they're trying. It's the tropes that we've known, but they're trying a little bit, and it's kind of neat. And Mike is a bit of a kind of a neat, fun character. He's like, all right, guys, let's get this done. You got that robot, you know, who's kind of useless,
cool,
but it's
Sam. Yeah.
Sam,
Yeah,
yeah.
Sam.
It's like, you know, so it's like you got. I don't know. It wasn't too bad, but okay. So yeah, that's where we're at. So guys, this is crazy. So Galaxy of Terror won in story, 3-1. Mutant 3-1 for pacing. Mutant 4-0 for artistry, and we're tied on characters. So enjoyment, if it goes to Galaxy of Terror, we're going into a tiebreaker. If it doesn't, then Mutant wins. So this is pretty good.
This seals the deal here.
And you know what? I'll do enjoyment first. I thought Mutant was like way better for me. I could have rewatched that movie instantaneously after it ended. Galaxy of Terror, I think, is really cool. And I think Galaxy of Terror is sort of the more real movie where they try to put some ideas into it.
Yeah.
They try to give you some interesting things that you haven't really seen. Mutant is clearly just a ripoff of Alien. And it's mute and it changes its shape. That's Alien, the original Alien, the real Alien, where it keeps changing every time you see it. Except the characters are nothing, obviously, compared to the real Alien movie. But like, it's a ripoff of Alien and it's cheese. But you know what? I'm like, Galaxy of Terror was like 1 point away from, if they just would have put a little bit more thought into the story and how to really like kind of just fill in a couple of gaps. I don't need everything explained to me. And if people have fears, we kind of need to see them before. And it can't just be like they fear space monsters that they've never seen before.
No
It's
shit.
Like, it's like, if someone fears spiders, then have a giant spider. If someone fears a worm, have the worm.
Yeah.
If someone fears themselves, okay, have themselves. Like that's cool too, right? Like, but like, it's just like, oh yeah, it's their fears, and they fear this monster, but they've never seen this monster before. Like, if she was scared of worms, wouldn't they be little worms that like maybe go into her nose and ears and eat her?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's very.
Well, they had maggots there, so why not just maggots all over her? That would have totally worked.
Right. So you know, my fear is the second season of She-Hulk. So like that would be that, you know, because I'm gonna have to watch it then because I got to review it. So yeah, that you know, but they were so close. You know, like that Sphere movie. Sphere is kind of like the higher budget version of this.
Yeah.
But Galaxy of Terror is awesome, and Sean's got those tins which are great. I would even consider getting the tins just to have the collectability of the tins.
Yeah.
But once you held up, see, that's awesome. But once you held up that Forbidden World, man, that's awesome.
That is the perfect cover they should have done.
Man, I'm like, I need that. So that's how I'm deciding my enjoyment too. Like, you're holding those two up. It's like, oh man, I really want that one. And that's literally it. The nudity helps and the absurdity helps too. But it's all part of that schlock. Look, if it comes down to it, if you're serious, I always go on serious first. I like to lean to the serious movies. If it's a serious movie that's really, really well done, I will always like that more than a schlocky, silly movie. I'll always like that more. But Galaxy of Terror didn't cross that barrier. So then I revert to schlock. It's like, I either want 2001: A Space Odyssey or Mutant. That's exactly what I want. If you can't do 2001: A Space Odyssey or Alien, right? Or Star Wars, well, not or let's say Star Trek, like motion picture or whatever, where it's a bit more serious. If you can't give me Star Trek motion picture, Alien, 2001, then I want Mutant, whatever, Space Hunter or whatever, these schlockier ones. So there you go. Okay, so let's go Charlie next.
Mutant. I love that movie. I've seen it more than Galaxy of Terror. like I said, in story, it spoke to me more because it was just a linear, straight through, just like how I like my action movies and all my other sci-fis. Good guy, alien, mission, kill it, done.
Right.
We're finished. No, he gets the hot chick at the end. It's not like they all died. He still gets something to take back with him.
Nope.
He's good to go, man. Galaxy of Terror is fun, and it's definitely one that I would always recommend someone to watch
For sure.
And if we look at popularity, it has more of the name brand than Forbidden World / Mutant. More people are going to be like, oh, I know that one. Big Worm and Robert Englund. One thing we didn't talk about, and it was in characters and artistry, was how evil Robert Englund looked like Freddy without the makeup.
Oh,
in that
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
His
right.
facial changes
Yeah.
and what he does, I'm like, that's freaking Freddy right there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was perfect. And again, we're talking 0.5 difference. But
right.
like I said, if I'm gonna rewatch something, I'm gonna rewatch Mutant. It has the staying power, it has the rewatchability. It's just fun. And you know what? I'll watch Galaxy of Terror right after it, because that's how Tubi thinks I think. So we'll go with it.
It did the same thing to me, Charlie. It tried to give me Forbidden World or after Galaxy of Terror. And
it's like, oh, you like this? Yeah. And also, they're both Corman movies.
Yeah.
They're both, they're like 1 year apart. So I don't blame the algorithm for being like, I think he's going to like this. And just be like, yeah, it was right.
Yeah. And I think Galaxy of Terror, for me, still beats some of the other movies that even made it through, right? If we had paired it if we spared it against like Space Raiders, then it would have beaten Space Raiders.
I think it would because you get so much more with Galaxy of Terror,
right.
with the just the addition of the gore, which is where it is like dead even to me with Mutant is I get the same amount of ooey gooeys. I do get boobs in both movies, and I get, this adventure kind of thing I'm looking for. It's just which one did it that much better.
But I did take notes here. The boobs were 3 minutes more. No, I'm just joking.
I don't doubt that. Well, honestly, the whole maggot thing was added because they promised it to investors.
Yeah.
She was supposed to have a sex scene. And it's like, well, they never gave them any chance for there to be any kind of romantic interlude between any of the characters. Like her and Robert Englund would have made more sense because of the leg thing. Like you get this feeling like there's something between those two.
Right.
They fail with it, and then they have to strip her down and have her get fucked by a worm.
Well, Aaron Moran was supposed to have a nude scene, but the producers of Happy Days were like, no way.
She was America,
Oscar, right?
Yeah.
So they just said, okay, we'll just kill her like in a gruesome way.
In the most gruesome, she's probably the most painful death in that entire thing.
Yeah.
Rushed to death.
Yeah. America's sweetheart, man.
America's sweetheart.
Yeah.
All right. Remember Night at the Roxbury? It's like, yeah. Joni loves Chachi, but does Chachi give a flying fuck about Joni?
Yeah.
Wow, the intro for that show is hilarious. Like they're singing and they're singing the theme song on a piano, and one by one each supporting character puts their hand and goes like that. It's hilarious. It's so stupid.
It's wholesome television, my friend. Wholesome television.
Well, I like Happy Days and stuff. And Joey Love Chachi's fine. I even watched Charles in Charge.
There you go.
Though I never wanted him to be in charge of my days and my nights, or my wrongs and my rights. So I was like,
he would have caught me watching Mutant, and he
or Zapped. Anyway,
Zapped. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, buddy.
That was his big vehicle.
Oh my god. And then he's on what's it called? Full House or okay. So, Steve, wait, who? So wait, only people have gone. Okay, Steve, what's your favorite? What do you like? What do you enjoy more?
Galaxy of Terror by a hair.
All right.
I just found it. I was sitting there and I'm like, usually to these type of movies where I don't know what the hell's going on, it's like, yeah, what's happening in Marvel Strike Force? Oh, okay, what's going on? Yeah, nothing's happening. But like this one, I was I stuck with it, and I rarely do that. And I stuck with it to figure out the meaning. And just at the end, when I was like, "Oh, we got a jobber match here because this movie has nothing,"
Right.
sort of ties it all together. I'm not saying it ties it together perfectly, but it does tie it together in a way that made it seem like, okay, I didn't sit through this 80 minutes for nothing.
Right.
I like the ideas of it. I like the scope and the scale of it. I like the cast, even though most of them didn't do anything. I still like the cast.
Right.
I like Mutant is a really fun movie, and it's one you could probably watch over and over again. But it's just too much like stuff I've seen done before, and it's not. It's one of those ones where I would tie it into, like, you know, if you want to show serious alien, fun mutant, like you could have that double bill, right? You can see both sides of that. But Galaxy of Terror intrigued me enough. Like, I've been thinking about it. Even I've watched it last night, and I'm still thinking about it today.
Cool.
So it's definitely there. I think Mutant is a really fun movie, and it's an easy one. Like, if you had a sci-fi horror day, it would definitely be on the bill. But for me, just by a smidge, and you know, I could watch Galaxy of Terror again and just be like, no. You know, like, there is no, like, second time through, I'm like, no, I have Charlie and J-Man's head and, you know, voices in my head. I'm like, no. But, like,
no, Steven.
hate the captain. But anyhow, but today, you know, I'm going to say Galaxy of Terror by a smidgen.
All right.
So it's
all
up to
down
me
to you,
either
Sean.
So Sean, this is a weird.
Giant or Shank Galaxy of Terror. Right?
No, well, the thing is, though, is that well, do your thing, but there is a winner anyway.
There is a winner. Yeah.
There's a winner anyways. But well, we'll see. We'll see what you say. Which one do you like better?
I think the 14-year-old me would have said Galaxy of Terror, but the adult me says Mutant, because the thing is, it's another alien type movie, but like, I think there's a lot of unique qualities to this that I would go back to. I have gone back to time and again. The whole weaponizing cancer thing, I think, knocks this a notch above.
Right.
It's pretty neat, because if the alien, if the mutant thing, quickly absorbs things like quicker than we would, when it eats, it's going to quickly absorb the cancer, and it's going to mess up its cells. It hinges off of like single-celled organisms and really just like dissolving things down to cells. Well, what if someone is eating away at those cells? It's going to eat away at it, right? I thought that was cool. I thought the sacrifice is awesome. Yep. It's a cool, and the James Bondism of it is it's more funny than anything else, because it's like he just walks right into the next situation, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" It's like, "Let's have sex." It's like, okay, well,
your room is 2 doors down. I told you your room was. Never mind.
And
then, we didn't even talk
I'm just seeing if
the
you're
voyeurism of the dude at the camera. Is like, what camera? There we go. Yeah. Our view is his view. We're him in that movie.
Yeah. But it's like Galaxy of Terror has a lot of fun things in it. But yeah, I think I get more enjoyment now out of Mutant. Just the overall look and feel of it. And the cool way that they get dispatched with the alien at the end, I feel, is better than Alien. I never liked the whole blowing it out the airlock, because is it just out there in space now, and you didn't kill it, So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go with Mutant then.
Right. And weaponized cancer, though, man. Come on,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
So there were 7 votes. 57% went with Galaxy of Terror on YouTube. The poll is now closed.
Oh, that was a hair close.
So so the Mutant is the winner. So the way it worked was Galaxy of Terror won in story 3-1. Mutant beat pacing 3-1. Mutant got a clear win in artistry, and it tied for characters. So Mutant already won in 2 categories. So even if you tied in enjoyment, Mutant still won in 2 categories. So Mutant wins overall.
Yeah.
So Mutant wins anyways. And yet again, I mean, I went through this, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And I'm like, it's going to be I'm like, it's got to be Galaxy of Terror because my mind and my memory is always like, yeah, Galaxy of Terror, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was
Yeah, I
like,
thought too,
this is probably going to be the
I thought it was
slam
Galaxy
dunk.
Terror too.
Yeah.
But when you watch these things this close together and actually like scrutinize them, you're like, damn, it's the same fucking movie.
I think I'm a character driven person usually. So it's like, if I like I'm always like lead person. That's like my number one thing. This is my Christopher Reeve argument. I don't care. Superman 3 and 4 are awesome because Christopher Reeve is awesome, and that's what I'm watching this for. It's like
Right.
Robert Englund is awesome. If you remove Robert Englund from Nightmare on Elm Street, that remake, it's not too bad. No, it's fucking bullshit. It's like if Robert Englund is not Freddy, it's over, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what am I watching then? I'm watching for Freddy, and he is Freddy. It's not even like Jason, who I do love. Kane Hodder isn't exactly Jason. He is kind of Jason to most people, which is fine. But you know what I mean? It's like it's not as much as Freddy, right? So that's so I usually go with characters. So I like this Mike. I'm like, this guy's pretty cool. He's making decisions. He's doing stuff. I understand his thing. It's like he's got the girls after him, and I just thought he was cooler. So it's like that's almost it. And then there's the schlockiness of it, right? So Galaxy of Terror could have only won if the concept was so high and well done that it just beat out the funness of Mutant, right? Like 2001: A Space Odyssey is a boring movie for a lot of people, and there's no characters. Characters is zero, except Hal. I guess Hal's a character, but like the concept's so high and it's done so well that I'm just like, wow, this is like awesome, right?
It's like the story of Galaxy of Terror needed to blow me away at the end. The actual like wrap up should have been like this. Even my mind goes, holy shit, it all makes sense. Instead, I got, okay.
Yeah, I'm the master.
Yeah,
Okay.
and as we were even breaking down and talking about each character, I kept going, none of these people were worthy to be the master except for this one guy. So they were literally thrown on there to be fodder to see how he reacts.
Yeah.
So the whole even trying to make like it's a competition,
right?
It wasn't. And maybe that's why Robert Englund survived, is because he beat it kind of, but he's still not supposed to be like the chosen one, that the master picked. So
yeah, they could have just tighten that script up,
tidied it up at the end, just something. And
because then you'd have a high concept with gore, because then you've got the gore, the nudity, and high concept, and the artistry was pretty good on both. So you're like, wow, that's when you find it's like a hidden gem movie, right?
It would have edged out the fun and absurdity of Mutant,
right?
Just a hair still, but we're talking minuscule gains and losses with these two. So to me, it was like, I'm not upset either one that was going to win. It's not like I'm sitting here going, your. It's, if Mutant wins, awesome. If Galaxy of Terror wins, awesome. I mean, they both are worthy of it.
Yep.
This one's probably going to get beat, up against a couple of others, but
here's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
What do you want to do next week?
Let's see.
Let's take a look here.
Let's see. We did creatures because it's kind of Halloween-y, so we jumped on that.
Yeah, so that's going to be, let's get the date here for everybody. That'll be the 14th. So the 14th, we are good on the 14th. Yes, because we're seeing Halloween Ends on the 13th.
Yep.
So the 14th, it's completely up to you guys. So what do we need to do? We did this, we did Space Mutiny, we did on the top, we've got Galaxina and Star Crash.
Yeah.
And on the bottom, it's Arena, Enemy Mine, Outland, and Saturn 3.
I almost vote we go ahead and get Star Crash and Galavina out of the way.
Yeah. Okay. And then we just got to deal with the bottom.
And then we have like our top matches for the, their big ones.
They're big ones. Yeah.
They kind of are. I mean, you're talking Sean Connery versus Saturn 3, which is amazing.
Which is Kirk Douglas.
Yeah. And then Arena and Enemy Mine. I mean, both
just
huge parts of my childhood. So
yeah.
Let's get Star Crash and Galavania out. I don't think I've seen Galavania.
Galaxina.
I can't read. That's small.
Small, I know. Galaxina is pretty neat. The story behind it with the main girl is crazy. There's a channel called Good Bad Flicks, and he breaks it down. It's crazy. But don't watch that. Watch.
No, I'll watch the movie first. But I've seen Star Crash, so at least I've seen one of them before.
Right. So okay, that's what we will do next week, and I will start getting that ready. Any other wrap up points to make on either of these movies? So the they don't have the post. They have the Forbidden World poster. So I was looking up because I went to the poster shop and I was like, it's a warehouse. It's literally an enormous warehouse of posters.
Right.
And they have other stuff there too. So I ordered online and paid online. So I literally drove up to I went in through the back entrance. And I'm like, here's my order. And they just handed me my stuff and I left. So I didn't go in and look around because you can't really look around. It's a warehouse. It's literally
it's all wrapped up and everything too. It's not like it's displays.
It's not displayed. They have a few things where they have like some posters displayed, but you just go online in their database and you give them the number. It's like movie poster. It's like MPW dash blah, blah, blah. And then you just go take it out from the warehouse. You inspect it. You bought it. You're done. But they have Forbidden World, but it was like, I think it was like $70 or $80. It's like, shit, that's a lot. They had Space Hunter. I was this close from buying Space Hunter. And these are all original theatrical posters.
Marquee ones.
Sorry?
Marquee ones.
Yeah. 2740, right? Nice. And you can buy sleeves. I don't know if you guys seen, I've got Steve has them too. It's like sleeves and you can put coming soon or you can put now playing on it. Yeah. Awesome. So yours coming soon. Oh, and Highlander 2 is also coming soon. And
always.
Now showing is Exterminator 2, now showing Ghost Town, and coming soon Police Academy 4. That's
awesome.
So half these movies you buy by the poster, but now I'm thinking, man, I really like that tin. So I
think I'd get the tin before the poster. I mean, those tins are amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, and especially for the cover of that one, it's really the
cool. Forbidden World one is why is that perfect. Not the cover?
Yeah, why wasn't this like always the?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, because
it's the mutant cover. Because it's the mutant cover, but with the guys in
the two wrapped around guys.
I like that part. I thought it was cool. I never thought we'd go outside, which I thought was kind of neat. Like they did try a couple of neat things that were like, oh, now we're outside of this.
No, they did. That's like we got to change it up a little bit. But there was like no worry of it getting out. They weren't in a populated area,
right?
So it stayed close to a food source, which made sense. And yeah, I agree. When it's sitting in the little area, immediately I'm like, well, I missed this episode of Sesame Street. I don't remember.
It's like Little Shop of Horrors.
A Little Shop of Horrors. No,
and like it goes down that tube. I'm like, it doesn't fit down there. And then that guy went down. I'm like, no, that wouldn't happen that way. That was weird. It was just weird.
It was whoop. It was gone.
Like you could have easily shot this.
Yeah, well, it's also not going to integrate into the computer and talk through the computer. So.
That is one of my. They should have linked that movie with War Games or something. That'd be awesome.
Make it like they
want to
use
play a
like
game?
nanotech or some shit. Come on, it was space. You could have told me anything, not that it was other DNA, because I was like, it still doesn't make sense. Why would it talk through the computer?
I don't know.
It just doesn't.
I don't know. Sheldon, are you Star Wars? That's like one of my favorites. That's what I want to get that. I want to.
It's like the movie that did it perfectly was like Virus.
Yeah, I like Virus.
Electrical entity, and it talked through the ship. It talked through the computers. I'm like, that makes sense. This one's like, no. It lured her closer so it could, she's never watched anime or any of this manga comics or anything like that.
Yeah,
I won't say what it's actually called.
So just
we know what it's called.
Y'all know what it is. What am I doing now, Steven?
And I've got some of those. I've got some of those.
Star Crash is on Tubi, but Galaxina is not.
Oh, so I got to find
Galaxina.
Oh, let me see if I have it, but I don't think I do. Hold on a second. Let me see if I have.
I thought I saw Star Crash on Tubi, so I was hopeful. There's other ones that are on it, so
I just checked. Galaxina is not on Tubi.
Arena is on Tubi.
I don't have a digital of it, but let me see if I can find it. So maybe you want to postpone that one in case if I can't find it, like give me time to find it.
Yeah, this was the one that's tough to find, even a physical copy.
No, okay. So the thing with Galaxina, you had to. I bought that instantaneously. Like I pre-ordered that, and it's a weird movie, and it's hard to find. If for some reason none of it. Okay, does I own it? Does anyone else? Sean, you don't have it, or you?
I don't have it. No.
Okay, let's not do it next week. Give me a week to see if I can find it, and I can get it for you guys.
Okay.
Let's do. Okay, everyone has Outland and Saturn 3.
I don't have Outland, but
I can get.
You can get both.
I think Outland's easy to get. Yeah,
Outland is easy to get, and I'm pretty. I'll tell you right now if I have it. I'm pretty sure I have it. Hold on.
Okay.
To loan you, I can loan it to you. Hold on. Outland. Yes, I can loan Outland to whoever needs Outland. And I also have Saturn 3 if anyone needs Saturn 3.
I have that actually, so I'm good.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we'll talk after the stream to confirm. Let's do that one next week then, Saturn 3 and Outland.
Yeah, we'll do that. That'll work.
Okay, guys, I think that'll be it. Next week, Outland Saturn 3. Join us then.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.